Hey, everybody. Mic check. Let us know if you can hear us okay. If not, let us know. We'll correct it. Either way, I am Jazz.
And I am T.
And thank you all for joining us tonight here in JT Ladies Lounge. I see my friend got the little shimmy popping on.
No, because y'all don't understand sometimes how we be behind the screen. Be like, okay, we gotta get ready. So once we go live, we gotta be like, okay,
hey! You just never know what you may get.
Right.
Seriously. So thank you again all for joining us tonight here in JT Ladies Lounge. And we are talking about 2020. The challenges, all the fun stuff we've been going through, COVID, anxiety, mental health, physical health. Just how are we coping with all these things? How is it affecting our lives? And how can we possibly move forward and deal with what we have left of this year going into 2021 in a healthy manner?
Right.
So, friend, like for me, COVID has been crazy. My personal life, I've been blessed with the opportunity to be home, as we said in our comeback COVID edition. But I've lost a lot of loved ones.
Yes.
A lot of people that have that I love that have loved ones that has passed. And even more currently, I would like to send my condolences out to the families that are currently suffering and have suffered losses due to the pandemic, COVID. They call it COVID-19. I feel like calling it COVID 2020 because it just completely, wreaked havoc on our whole entire year. So I would like to send my condolences out to my city because where I'm from is very small. And I feel like every time I hear of one of our elders, one of our legends passing, it's of COVID. So it's a very scary moment right now. And it's like trying not to pass COVID to our elders, but also still needing to care for them. It's very complicated. And not even just elders, just people with health issues and just different things we're going through at this time. And then trying to keep our mental right. For our children, right, and for our elders, just trying to balance everything and then actually be a human and be regular for yourself.
Right, because obviously whenever somebody has a sickness or illness, it affects everybody's body different. We know that.
Yes.
We know that. But with this COVID being new to us, you question just why is it hitting everybody so different? Yes, we know it comes with your health issues, obesity, they was
high blood pressure,
saying the as far as your lifestyle and the background, the history, black people probably get it more than the Caucasian people, whatever the case may be. But then you see somebody that you may hear on TV or you see it on social media, and you look at them and it's like, dang, it really affected this person more than the other person. So why is that? And I guess those are the questions that they are trying to figure out now and all that. And I guess when someone is sick or going through it, you don't ask why. You just continue, to pray for them and everything. But again, it's normal. We are human. It's something that we are all literally what we're going through right now. Each and every person is dealing with it.
And it's crazy because even when you hear people getting sick, it's like the first thing that comes to your mind out of all the health issues they could possibly have, it's like, oh, is they sick from COVID?
Right.
Like, what's going on with them? And you could just be like, well, my grandmother's sick and in the hospital. Not because maybe your grandma's old, not because she has diabetes or anything else.
Right.
It's automatic COVID that pop into our mind. So it's a very scary time for everyone. And they do have promising vaccines. That's what I want to present to the audience. They do have promising vaccines that are out. Moderna, if I'm pronouncing that right, has one. And I think Pfizer has one that's promising like a 90 percentile protection rate, I think. Don't quote me on that. But my thing is that how do you all feel about this fast vaccination that they smacking on the market real quick? Would you get it? Are you planning to get it? Do you plan on getting it for your kids? How do you all feel about that?
Well, me personally, I don't know. I honestly, I really can't answer yes or no right now. Like, I honestly cannot answer yes or no. Now, when it comes to my job, where I work at, I guarantee you my job will make us get it.
Right.
Now, when it comes to that, my job will make us get it unless, because it's new, I don't know, can you say you're allergic to it? Can you say it's going to affect your something that you're dealing with? The reason why I say that, because when they made it mandatory for us to get the flu shot, you were able to get a note from the doctor if you had any reasons. But now this is something new, so it's like, how they going to be able to tell if you're allergic to it or not, if it's going to affect you or not?
And how do you know it's going to affect you or not?
Exactly. So I will say, when it comes to my job, I know they may enforce it. So now that has to make me think, will I just do it because of where I work? But then I got to go into the personal reasons of, will I not do it or will I do it? And I'm saying to say, honestly, I have gotten vaccines. I never got the flu shot until my job started saying that it was mandatory. And that's like been about 4 years ago. But I've never gotten the flu shot. But of course, growing up, my mom, when it was time to get your shots, take the babies to the doctors.
Vaccine, yeah.
I had them all. I did it with my kids. So I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like, oh, I'm against it and all this, or, I did research. Because when it was time for my kids to get into school and they had to have their vaccines to play sports and do stuff for, physical activity, I did it. So that's why I said right now, I would say I really don't know. I'm the type of person that I have to wait till that time come. Not that it's not in a thought process, that I'm dealing with, but until that time come, then that's when I will have my answer. Yep. Because you don't know what's gonna happen in the upcoming months and possibly years.
So I completely understand that, but I feel they've screwed us so much, and even with what I didn't know, because don't get me wrong, my kids are vaccinated, more so Jagger than Liam, because I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have questions. I didn't feel certain types of ways because, listen, I had the vaccines, so I didn't die and nothing weird happened to me so far.
Right.
But I don't know, because I also went to the military, and I know we were a human pincushion in the military. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to affect me in the future. But I just know, based on the shots that he has, were the same ones that I got. But I didn't realize all the things that were behind the vaccines and behind diseases, and how it's all just about, I'm not going to go into my whole conspiracy theory because everybody has their own thing. I'm not saying, science is wrong, medicine is wrong, and everything is herbal. I'm not saying
it's really your own personal.
It's on your own personal thing.
Thoughts,
but the thing is that now that I have school age kids, and they just throwing this random ass vaccine out here and saying this is a 90, a high percentile of preventing the disease, curing it, whatever the case may be. We just got COVID this year, so to me they haven't ran enough trials. And then there's all the other things that they have that I've acquired during some research. So I'm a little bit more resistant to getting it. Now, I know where I work, they get that flu shot out like government cheese. I stopped taking the flu shot after I got out of the military. You know what I'm saying? And I've been blessed enough not to die from the flu.
Right. Or even have it, because I've never had the flu.
I've had it.
Can I knock on wood somewhere? Let me
ain't
tap
none,
on this.
Ain't no wood.
Somewhere, right?
But I've had it.
Never had it.
I've had the flu, and I've gotten absolutely sick. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was shit you live. And then I have kids. Like last year, honestly, I feel my kids had COVID before it had a name. I really feel that, because
I've heard a few people that actually.
My oldest was so sick that he was just going from the bed to the bathroom. He was real hot, like, he was really, really sick. Then baby boy fell sick. God bless. I didn't fall sick, but I was taking him back and forth to the doctor, and they gave my oldest an automatic week off of school. They ain't do no test.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do no tests on him. They just gave him a week off of school, and I was like, oh, that's a little bit awkward because I've never known to get a week off automatically from a cold.
Right.
You know, so he was sick, and I'm not saying it's not a worse strand because that's the whole thing behind the flu shot. Well, it's gonna protect you from this strand and this strand and this strand, but you could possibly still. It's just so much, y'all. So, long story short, I am probably a little bit more reluctant to just be like, all right, let me line up, jump in this line. Because I've already did it, number one. I've already did it, and I've learned a little bit more about the process and why they've developed these things so fast because it's a bigger ulterior motive. Right. So, you know, it's not to say that it's never going to happen, but it just won't be today.
But, you know, right, because you got to think about it, too. Then we're going to move on to, you know, the other topics or the other things that we're going to talk about. But this is the first time that we experienced this because, again, we grew up. Well, I mean, our generation, we grew up where, again, we were already going into school and our parents were giving us measles shots and polio shot. Like they, you know, that was already there. So now is us going through that pandemic, this pandemic about the COVID. So 15 years, 20 years from now, that's going to be on the probably mandatory school shot list in order to get your kids in school.
So it just depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah, it really is. Because now this is us dealing with it. You know, so.
And we didn't have the same technology. Right. They didn't. Our parents didn't have that technology years ago. Right. So now that we have the technology, you know what I'm saying? And guess what they do? Ingredients change over years. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And also with speaking up now too, you know, your voice can be a lot heard more than what it was, you know.
Yeah, and you have the opportunity to use social media to get to show like, listen, my baby wasn't acting like this before he got this vaccine. So now my baby got this vaccine and they're acting like this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now you have the ability to it's a visual thing. Right. So when people see it, they have more questions and it make them more leery. Because I've seen enough to make me be like, oh my God, I cannot believe I survived that shot. Right. But guess what? It may not affect us all in the same way, but it's going to, just like anything else.
No, yeah, because when I say about your voice being heard, about just people wanting to speak up more about
and having questions.
Yeah, not wanting to do that. But so dealing with 2020 challenges just during COVID. And just throughout the year.
Oh my gosh, even outside of COVID. We can't even
just, and it's so hard to say just outside of COVID.
Because nothing's outside of COVID.
Right, because nothing's outside of it. But we have to remember we did have a life before COVID.
At some point.
We had plans before COVID.
Had plans.
Before COVID came, a lot of us, including me, was like, oh, my 2020 about to be this, and this, and that. And we already know, just as people, we plan and things could change. Even if COVID wasn't here, so many loops in our life could have just steered us a whole different way.
Very much so.
But COVID steered us regardless if we was able to control it or not.
In a whole different way.
Yes.
COVID took the wheel.
Yes. So, how have your 2020 been? How have you been overcoming or even just overcoming, still doing whatever you need to do with just like life challenges? Regardless if it's dealing with disappointments, with love. And it don't have to be love with relationship. It could be love relationship, love within friendships, love within, you know, family members,
love within
yourself. Yes, love within yourself. Because, you know, some people said they found themselves more, or they realized that they can't deal with this and deal with that. Health issues, financial issues, career issues, academic issues.
Yeah. All them great issues.
All that. Yeah. It just make you realize, and I like I said, for me, I'm not gonna lie. I've said that with the parents that's dealing with the school age kids, that's dealing with the online classes. I love my babies to death. I love them to death. To death, to death. Always been a parent that wanted my kids to do good in school. But I have to be honest, my patience that I had when they were in school, I really didn't have it. So I know it's no way in hell I wouldn't be able to do it now. I wouldn't have a choice. Trust me, I would not have a choice. But I know without even experiencing it, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't.
Well, again, guys, thank y'all for joining us.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, a tutor.
I wouldn't.
Seriously,
and the
way honest. You are right now is the way I am every day. Every day at some point. But again, I'm sorry, I accidentally cut her short. But thank you all so much for joining us again. You're here in JT Ladies Lounge. Thank you, Cash, for joining us. She said, great topic. Meditation has been amazing for my COVID stress. The positive affirmations and the healing sounds have been everything. And it's so great that you say that, Cass, because I have a 13-year-old son who meditates and who listens to vibrations at night to go to sleep. And if I go in there and turn that switch off, he automatically wake up. It don't matter what time it is. So listen, he's doing the online school thing. He's stressed out because sometimes technology don't work. It's so many different things he got to do. It's annoying for him. It's hard for me.
Right, because it's pressure on, it's pressure on everybody.
And then he's not able to socialize with his friends like he wants to. He's not able to do those things that teenage 13-year-old boys do. Go to the park, play football. I still have him in martial arts. I still have him in martial arts, but it's 2 days a week for an hour. That's just so he can have some active alone time that don't consist of me and his brother. You know what I'm saying? So I understand he's under a different type of stress.
Right.
But I don't I encourage him to meditate. I encourage him to listen to the frequencies to help him sleep soundly.
Right.
So and Cass said, I'm unsure about the vaccines. I want to wait until I hear they work for a while. LOL, I'm immunocompromised, so I'm anxious for a vaccine, but I need it to be 100% first. And Cass, and that's what we all say, but the honest, in my mind, ain't nothing 100%.
Yeah, yeah. It ain't might nothing be 100%. 99 point
something. But if they say it's 100%, that's when you need to be leery for real.
Right.
Like you just never know how it's going to end up. So again, thank you all for joining us. Please like, comment, and share. What is 2020 doing to y'all for real?
Okay, so even what about financial issues? How have you been dealing with financial issues? Some people lost money, some people gained money, some people started businesses, some people lost businesses, some people never even stopped working, some people were even able to pick up more work, and even not pick up more work because they wanted to, they had no choice to.
That's real.
So it could have been an up and down, like where, I'm working extra hours, I'm getting extra money, but then you got the people that's like, well, I don't want to work extra hours.
I can't work extra hours.
I can't. The money may sound good, but I don't want to do it. And then it's like, okay, I don't need the extra money, so I don't want to work. So you gained hours, you gained money, you lost hours. So I mean, for me,
what does that look like to you?
For me, it affected me, and it didn't even have nothing to do with COVID. And this is what we was just saying. Every loss during 2020, or every impact or every issue didn't really always have to do with COVID. But it made it worse because you're dealing with stuff on top of COVID can make it or made it worse. You know what I mean? Or made it more stressful because you're already dealing with your life and your own personal stuff. Now you got to deal with what the rest of the world is dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You there's no way you could shut it out. You couldn't say, "Oh, I want to block this. I don't want to deal with this." You couldn't do it. You had to deal with what you was going through, your own shit,
no longer an option.
And what the rest of the world was going through. Literally. For real.
Yeah.
So
and you still have to, because I know, like in my state in Ohio, they got like a 10 o'clock curfew. I guess COVID stopped coming out at a certain time and it comes out at a certain time. I don't know.
Right.
But they have a curfew imposed again. You know what I'm saying? And I believe it's really honestly because that's when people hang out and that's when people gather.
And that's what they think. Yeah.
The wee
And that's
hours. But
that's
when you impose a curfew, people only do it in the early hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a catch-22. Like, people are going to be people, and you can impose whatever sanctions you feel like you need to. But what if I have a big family, a big immediate family? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you can't control everybody, because at some point people be grown. Mm-hmm. So it's not to say that don't try to do these things to help prevent the spread of the virus, because it's very, very serious. But it's also like, okay,
you just can't stop.
And what if I still have to work? Like,
yeah,
what if
that's what, you can't just stop.
So, like, for me, the wild thing that happened was, I have a 4 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. shift that I have to work. I have a 1.5-year-old. I have a 13-year-old. My son is in virtual school. Luckily, I'm in a blessed position to where I can do that from home. But honestly, like, if I really had to drive into my job, who the hell is keeping my son at 4 o'clock in the morning? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and not even with Jag being 13, just still you have to wake him up. You got to make sure he get up still on time. It ain't easy to just say, "Oh, set the alarm." Shit, it's hard for us to get up sometimes for adults to get out of bed. So now you got to worry about, okay, I can go to work, but then my baby got to get up. And this is what I'm saying is that some of the issues that we are dealing with as parents, spouses, just friends, siblings, just period. We have to remember some of these issues we already had before COVID.
Yeah.
Because if COVID wasn't here and you still had to be to work not at 4 o'clock, but had to be to work at 6, girl, you still got to find childcare for the baby. You still got to make sure, okay, who's going to wake my 13-year-old son up? I got to set the alarm, but then once you get to work, you still calling, you up, you up, you up, you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's exactly how it would be.
So some things we were already dealing with, like I said, before COVID, but COVID just made it
more complicated. It is so much more complicated because, first of all, it ain't like my kid like going to school anyway. He's not a fan. So now it's online, and now he's at home. So it's even more distraction because he already don't want to do it. And I have to even keep him more on task because every day I have to say, son, what are you doing? Why ain't you in class right now? You know what I'm saying? And they have 30-minute breaks between classes, which is dope because I never had 30-minute breaks between classes. But it's still you dealing with a kid that already don't like it. And then now they're in virtual school, so now they don't have their friends. They don't have regular outlets they would have. Right. So I literally have to keep him on task. And doing that over the phone, you can tell your parent anything over the phone. Right. And by the time I know anything is all bad, them grades look like shit, and now I'm completely mad. But it's too late because it's out of control. Right. You got technology issues. You got teachers having technology issues. It's so much. And I'm not trying to make no excuse, and we're gonna move on. And when I tell you I'm not trying to make no excuse, because again, I'm a parent. I have 2 kids, so I know what it's like trying to get them to do schoolwork, trying to get your 15-year-old to, get on the computer and do everything. Thank God I really don't have to deal with that on an everyday basis. Yes, his dad and his stepmom. Yes, shout out to call him. I be like, son, you good? I check up on him, but they are doing a hell of a job, and I thank God that I have them in my life to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? For mommy to still be able to go to work. Anyway, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna take a break and come right back. Again, I'm not saying this to make an excuse.
But at the end of the day, some of these kids that are sitting in front of these computers every day for 30 minutes, for 45 minutes, it's quick for somebody to probably say, oh, they could sit in front of a game all day, but then it's hard for them to sit in front of a computer to do work.
Totally different.
Don't do that, because you got to think as yourself, as an adult. When it's time for us to have meetings at work, or it's time for us to have our own stuff, what do? We get in this office or in this big old conference room with 25 people, and what's the first thing we say? Oh boy, I don't want to go in this meeting. Oh boy, so you get there, you hear somebody talking, womp, 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 womp. That's all you hear. You in the corner might be dozing off. You drinking coffee, and I'm not saying for every person, but you got to think of your mind as an adult too, how it is that you got to do something. Not that school's not entertaining for them, but to just sit there in front of a laptop and learn. Some kids can do it without a problem. Some can't. It's the same thing. Some kids can sit in the classroom and lose focus. Some can't. So it's not the fact that because a parent is not doing a job because a student can't focus sitting in front of a laptop. Stop blaming the parents all the time.
Because that's the
it's not always the parents all the time. That's where I have the issue with. Stop blaming, and I'm not saying that some parents can't slack. Trust me, I'm not saying that. But stop blaming the parents for some of the stuff that these kids are not doing.
And because it's not something they're used to. It ain't like the kids being used to going to school online without other student interaction, without actually touching and seeing books. You can't. But the thing is too, like, they're frustrated like we're frustrated. We saying they should have had their shit together. It shouldn't be no technical problems. Come on, for real. This shit just happened. And you asking for these teachers to be able to have a whole system to be able to do all these things. And yes, now they've had time to work out the kinks, but it's called technology. It happens, and so, we trip on them and they looking like, well, your student needs to be here promptly 8:00. My baby was wearing a onesie like the first 3 weeks of school. And I had to tell him, like, I don't really know if you can wear your onesie.
Yeah, because
but he was like, yes, I can finally not put on clothes.
Right, because I know some of the schools were saying they didn't want the kids to be in pajamas and stuff. And that's understandable, because even working from home, they don't want us to be like that neither. Like, working from home.
Well, good thing I can do the little face on there. No,
working
my
from
little
home,
picture.
they don't want us to do that neither, because you never know if you got to do a Zoom call, or it can be like a FaceTime call immediately. Like, they got to ask you a question, and they don't want you to pop up with your scarf on. So I understand that. No, that part I do understand.
Whatever.
But no.
Because listen, you can guarantee you can FaceTime me, and I promise you, what you think you're going to see ain't what you're going to see.
I didn't say I don't like it. I said I understand.
You understand? Yeah.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying. You have to understand what somebody's saying. I didn't say I like it. I just understand.
I don't understand. That's my thing. I don't understand, because I'm like, if you're doing the work, what does it matter what I look like?
No, it do.
Because I'm on workout.
Okay, we're gonna say this, and we're gonna take a commercial.
But you're right.
But it really do, because that's just like if we interview somebody, or you go on an interview, or you gonna be on TV. You're not gonna go on TV with a scarf on.
Well, that's different.
No,
if you let me know I'm about to be on TV or interview, but if you just FaceTime me and what? Boo boo.
No,
I'm at home.
I get it when it comes to, if you think in your mind, okay, this is my boss, or this somebody I know, we all work together, they can see what I look like. Yeah. But I understand the concept of it.
I do too.
You're still working. So I get it. But we're going to take a quick...
You don't got to wear pants, though.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to move on with how are you dealing with 2020 challenges, 2020 vision that took a totally different
2020 vision has kindly blinded us.
And what's going to happen? What are your plans and your vision for 2021? Still with the unknown, still not knowing, but you still got to have a plan. And what are some things you got to keep in mind as we navigating through the rest of this year? So listen, y'all, take a break, grab a friend, grab a drink, come join us, and we'll be back.
Sometimes I go up, sometimes I go down. Used to going in, but sometimes I'm coming out. Sometimes I'm upset, sometimes I'm a mess. Sometimes I just wanna be with me, nobody else. Sometimes I was broke, sometimes I ain't had a bag. Sometimes I ain't know, sometimes I got really mad. Sometimes I just feel like I ain't really into that. Sometimes I wanna go, but this shit always bring me back. Sometimes I was in, sometimes I was out.
Hello, and welcome back on this special Wednesday. Every day is special. So on this
Seriously.
special Wednesday with Jazz, well, I'm about to say our names, Jazz
And
T. JTLadies Lounge at Jetsonz Radio DC. We are dealing with 2020 challenges, dealing with COVID, anxiety, stress, depression, grief, career disappointments, careers, accomplishments, because everything for 2020 hasn't always been a downfall. It really haven't. It has, but somewhere blessings still were born, were achieved. And when I say born, I'm not talking about just babies, because people started their businesses,
We want to hear all that good stuff.
Yeah, people started their new lives, as far as whatever you desire.
Oh, I know what people did do. Either they found out more about themselves being by themselves for this amount of time, or they found out more about the person that they live with, cohabitated with, spouse with, boo shack up with, badass kids with. All those things, like you find out, and actually, I think 2020 has made people get really creative.
Yes.
I've seen some really creative things, like to socially distance, but to still not feel detached from the world.
Right.
So it kind of makes me feel good to see like the drive-by graduations or the drive-by birthday parties.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just to let people know, hey, I still love you, and I'm sorry we can't all conjugate, but I'm still here to support you, and I still love you, and I still support you, and I'm going to drive by and honk my horn.
Yes.
If nothing else, I throw my card out the window, or, whatever it takes, just to make sure that we still show love.
Right.
Show humanity and be compassionate.
Yes, and interact with one another.
Let me tell y'all this story. When it's not it could be a whole story, but I ain't going to do it to y'all. I just came from home from my uncle's funeral. May God rest his soul. It's very heartbreaking. But y'all, the other heartbreaking thing was getting through the airport. I'm not lying. Like, I felt like helpless. And there are very few times in this single parent journey that I feel helpless. But this time I did. I felt alone and helpless because I didn't have my big boy with me.
Right.
It was just me and baby boy.
Right.
And I had the car seat, the book bag, and our bag, and the stroller and him. Right? So I'm in my feelings, right? But I'm struggling trying to carry this 14-pound car seat on top of everything else. So I get to the door, and it's a white guy and his mom, right? And he looked at me, and he was like, "You need some help?" And it took, I'm not even prideful like that, because I don't mind asking or receiving help.
Right.
But it took all I had in me to admit that I needed help. But I did, because I needed it.
Right.
He could see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he helped me in to the airport, and I got to a cart, and I looked down, and my baby's shoes was on the wrong feet. Right? Okay, I don't all the time know my left from right. Whatever. But I was in a rush.
Right.
And so I looked down, and I was like, oh my God. Like, besides me struggling to get in, this boy's shoes is on the wrong feet. And it irritated me more than it irritated him.
And you the one that put it on.
And I didn't say I did that. I did not say I put that boy's shoes on.
I'm not saying it to be funny.
Feel like
but I'm just saying, no, definitely not. But I'm just saying, it irritated you, but you the one that put it on. So you couldn't even say, Dash, why you put your shoe on the wrong foot?
I ain't even had that possibility. So dude was like, that's kind of why I asked you if you needed help, because I noticed
his shoe was on the wrong feet.
Them baby shoes was on the wrong feet. And I was like, girl, I busted out crying. I was like, oh my God. Because I was already emotional. You know what I'm saying? So then as I got the car, and I'm still going through the airport by myself, dumbass car seat kept falling off the thing. I didn't have no straps to strap it on. So I'm pushing the car, pushing the kid with one hand, right? So strollers kind of go this way when you steer with one hand. So I'm struggling through this airport trying to push one at a time.
Right.
And then this family walked past me. and she helped. The car seat fell off again for the 99th time. So she put it back on for me, and I was like, "Thank you." But probably, child, by then she probably looked at my face and was like, "She about to lose it." You know what I'm saying? Because I was literally like, "Oh," like I wanted to scream.
Right.
So she looked at her husband. I don't know what they said to each other. She just handed him her ticket, and she was like, "Let me help you."
Okay.
And she took me all the way to the front, because guaranteed, you know, if you know me, you know me. I was in the back of the damn airport. I should have been in the front.
Right.
All the way somewhere I shouldn't even been.
Right.
So she walked with me all the way across the airport and helped me check in.
Wow.
Girl. And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God, this is during COVID and you are just so sweet." And she was like, no, she was like, "Listen, I understand, I've been there." It made me want to tear up now, but it was just one of those things that I wasn't expecting.
Right.
Because I was already under so much stress and so stressed out.
Right.
And I know how people are, they don't want to touch, and it's like germy and all that. And, you know, it's not saying people don't want to be nice, but everybody's just so scared. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh my God. So when she actually handed her husband the ticket and was like, "Listen, I'll catch up with y'all later," I was like, "Well, girl, how much time you got? Because we is on the wrong side of the airport, clearly." And she walked with me all the way over. And my little crying ass baby was doing what he doing in his seat.
Right.
And I was like, well, I kind of tuned him out because I was already stressed. But she actually, you know, took the time to help me.
Right. And this is what we are talking about, just like how people are dealing with COVID in the 2020 challenges.
Yeah.
Here was Jazz, and this is and it's not just
it's no,
and it's not just the Jazz thing, because this is what people are dealing with every day. And again, like I said, for me, I thank God, because I just don't know how every day is gonna be. You never know that somebody is gonna. We already know everybody's not gonna be here forever. We know that. We know everybody is not gonna be here forever. But obviously, this illness then came and literally just took over 2020 and it's killing people. Regardless if you want to believe it or not, something is going on. Something is going on.
It's something.
We know we ain't gonna be here every day. We die of natural causes, things that we do to ourselves, things that's unexpected. We know that. But something is going on that's killing people and putting us in this hospital, regardless if you want to believe it or not, or you want to have your own definition of what it is.
Of what's going on.
And I say that to say is, here was Jazz dealing with, everybody's dealing with COVID. We already know how the airports changed years ago with all the 9/11. So that was already a headache that we got to deal with just to go to the airport. We know that. But this been years ago. We deal with it, but how many times you still said after years ago that this change been in effect? Dang, going to the airport ain't the same.
Hassle,
So we deal with that. We're dealing with COVID. We're dealing with stress and just other things everyday life, and dealing with grief. Because at the same time, she's doing this traveling to go home to bury a loved one. So even if me, the next person might not be dealing with this particular thing, trust me, I still dealt with something that was still dealing with COVID or dealing with stressful moments during this period of time.
And COVID altered how you deal.
Yes, or dealing with, you know, children and spouses and health and finances. It still was an impact.
Very much so.
It still was an impact. So you can't say somebody, it didn't affect somebody. And I know, it didn't affect me with, thank God, somebody not dying of COVID. And, you know, not to put Jazz family member out there, but God bless his soul, it had nothing to do with COVID.
Yeah.
Thank God I haven't experienced that. But that does not mean that I still haven't experienced stuff during COVID, regardless if it has something to do with it or not.
And it's not over.
Yes, but COVID makes it more stressful.
Oh my God.
It really does. So things that we just need to do, for ourselves. Because before we can try to make somebody else feel good, we just got to do it for ourselves too. Because we can reach out and make somebody else feel good, but then when you walk away or you go home or you get in your car, whatever, then you breaking down. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay, not saying that, but then we try to be strong for other people, but then you got to be strong for yourself too. And it's okay to break down. Like what you did now, it's okay. It's okay.
Girl, I'm a crybaby.
No, I know. It's okay. And I'm saying that for me because I'm a person that I be like, I don't want to cry. I'm a crybaby, but I be like, I don't want to cry. I got it. I'm strong. I got it. I don't want to cry. But it happens. And even if it's not tears, it don't always have to be tears. You still crying on the inside.
Yeah.
It don't always have to be tears. We all. But
by the time I got home and got to my uncle's thing, I think I had 4 tears left.
But this
I was stressed.
This COVID is serious. It really is, and I'm saying that it's serious as far as losing, insight of life and still trying to have a way of still enjoying life. It's serious because when I say people lost money with businesses, they ain't even have to do with nothing with businesses.
It's life.
I lost money with me and my girlfriends was planning on trips. We booked the same trip twice. We lost money because the people wasn't trying to get the money back.
That made me want to cry.
Yeah, that's the same. They wasn't trying to get the money back.
Seriously.
Because
you need the money now because guess what? People are losing jobs.
You losing money.
Shit's shutting down now.
So even if you didn't, you lost money just for even fun activities.
Yeah.
Or even stuff being postponed, and you still don't know when that postponed date is gonna come.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very scary.
So it's the fun, the activities of having fun and being around family and having a good time. It's okay to miss that. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying that to be. It's okay to miss that. It's okay. It's okay to miss hugging people.
I'm a hugger.
Like it's okay to miss just walking up the street and knocking on your neighbor's door and just saying, "Hey." It's okay.
Or just, you know what? It's also okay to just be a regular person.
Yes.
I don't have to be in your personal space to speak. You know what I'm saying? But again, thank you all for joining us. And I'm sorry, I got a little snotty nose and stuff.
No,
because I'm emotional because it was an emotional time. And it was just something that I went through that made me just realize, times are changed right now. And I can't even say right now, I don't even know how long it's going to take. I don't know if it's going to ever be back to what we felt was normal. But B, Dana, Pat, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. And let us know how 2020 has impacted your life. Not even just COVID, just your mental. Just all the different things on top of life. On top of life, we have the icing on the cake, which is COVID. So let us know how it's affected you and what you do to kind of keep saying, y'all.
Right, because people have not been able to experience birthdays and, like you say, graduations,
proms,
and the birth of a new child.
It's one person in there when it usually be a whole damn family sometime.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So ways how you can navigate through life challenges. We all know, like everybody have their own experience. Everybody, we deal with things different. But the number one thing, like I was saying before, take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's baby steps. It's baby steps. It's not an overnight thing. And it's just through life, period. Just through life challenges. You can't just wake up. You just wait. Oh, I just want to change this. And just go, just be like, I'm going to, just step out there and do this. It's baby steps.
Yeah. And so.
It's baby steps.
And even with the baby steps, it's like, it's a step. You know what I'm saying? It's a step. One foot in front of the other. The other thing is practice resilience. And what does that look like? What is resilience? What does that mean to you? Resilience is keep going when you want to stop. You know, it's like that relationship when you say I'm done, but you still got 17 more seconds worth of feeling, and you just keep, you know what I'm saying? You put that last effort in. It may be a dry or a half-ass effort, but you still put it in. You know what I'm saying? Because you still kind of got a glimmer of hope. As long as you got a mustard seed of faith, you know, keep fighting, keep pushing through. It's not easy and it's not ever fun. But as long as we keep practicing resiliency, that means it's not just going to stop with our personal life. It's going to bleed over into everything we do. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we don't always win. You know, things aren't always easy, always a given to us. Do that mean you stop trying? No. It means you keep fighting. And my girlfriend and I were talking about that today. Hey, sometimes the resistance or sometimes the rejection, I didn't mean resistance. Rejection is a teaching point. You know what I'm saying? There's winners and losers in life. And either you can permanently lose and never fight to win, or you can fight to win and actually win at whatever it is. So practice that. Practice being resilient. Even if that means, hey, I said I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do this, and that's what I'm going to do this morning. It can be as simple as waking up 5 minutes earlier. It can be as easy as going to bed 5 minutes earlier. Whatever you set your small goals to, just practice it and it'll become a way of life for you. Don't give up on yourself.
Right. And that goes into what you were just saying about the losses and the wins. It's no always not going to be 50-50. It's going to be this, woman is that, woman is that, woman is that. So going back to don't focus on the losses. It's wins. Yes, I know that's easier said than done. I know it is. But just look at what you done gained in 2020.
Even if it's knowledge, you don't think it's useful?
It's something,
but it definitely
is something that you gained during 2020. This COVID has done something. Every year, every day brings us some type of knowledge. But this right here is something.
This right here, this is a different situation.
This right here is something different. It really is. Agree. It really is something different. And there's no way that you could not have learned something from it. Something. You had to. And even if you didn't, it's gonna come back.
I don't even know what to say even if you didn't. Because how could you not? It's been a whole year of fuckery. How could you not?
I'm gonna say, even if you didn't, maybe it'll come back to you and then you could focus and say, oh,
I learned this last year.
Yeah.
It's been a wild year.
It's something that you learned. You just gotta dig for it. It's something that you learned.
And then you have to recognize how you act. Like, we can't choose what happens, but we can choose how we respond to it. And that's very, very big. If nothing else y'all take from tonight, you can choose your reaction. Yes, this happened, but how are you going to react to it? What energy are you going to give it? Because guess what? If you give certain things the same energy you've been giving it, you're going to get the same result. Your damn blood pressure going to be high. You're going to be annoyed, and it's going to ruin everything to follow. Are you going to keep following that path, or are you going to change this and not giving as much energy? And choose how you act and consciously think about the effort you put into this. Or are you not going to, and you're just going to let it go because you're a loose cannon and you say what you feel? And we all got that already, but clearly it's not solving the problem and it's not changing things.
Right. And COVID going to be gone, and you still going to be saying the same thing.
And you still going to be ugly and mad. You see what I'm saying? Your spirit's going to be ugly. Your whole aura's going to be ugly. Ain't nobody going to be around you.
So
So we choose how we respond to things. We choose how we act. And we may not always make the right decision in that moment, but guess what? We can choose the next moment. Because, hey, I didn't get what I wanted when I initially responded to a situation that was similar to this. So now I have the opportunity and the mind space to be able to be like, you know what? I'm cool on that right there. I'm going to go over here and mind my grown woman, man business.
Right.
So you have an option, y'all. And that's something that I feel we all need to exercise and all need to think about. Because guess what? You've been locked in the house with that spouse that you had loved 20 years ago. And then now you locked in the house with bruh. And now he ain't the same man that you married 20 years ago, but you never noticed because y'all was so in and out. Y'all didn't have that one-on-one time like you normally did. How are you going to react to that? Like, yo, I didn't even know you had did that. Or are you going to just pop off and just end your whole life because you don't like something that you saw that was always there, but you just never had the opportunity to experience it. You know what I'm saying? So it's real life big boy decisions out here. You have to calm yourself. Start with a single step. Like, was that y'all was talking to when I was saying my baby meditate?
Yeah, you just talking to everybody.
Oh. See, y'all. See, and this is what I'm saying. I don't know if I was saying that, but you have to take steps to calm yourself. Whether it's meditation or damn kickboxing or boxing or exercise. The one thing I don't recommend is comfort food because it's comfortable and it makes you feel good. But guess what? You're going to look like you've been feeling good for a real long time, and in your body, it's a negative effect depending on what you do. So you have to choose your comfort. Alcohol feels good, but don't.
Right. But do you know they said the alcohol ratio went up?
Hell yeah.
No, it went up.
Did you not see that it was an essential business to stay open?
Right. No,
it was essential. Come on.
No, it literally went up.
Did you expect it not? Right. You got to deal with these badass kids and this man you done married. Hell yeah, everybody getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? We getting shit-faced right during COVID. It's going down. And not to say that it's right, but I'm just saying that's what you have to. Those are the things you have to be careful about.
But it's real life. It is. It's real life.
You have to be careful because not everything that's put in front of you to comfort you is good. And it's very easy to gain an additional addiction. Now, you may have been a social drinker before, but you're in the house with them kids.
Right.
That shit make you drink unsocially. So it's different things. Yeah, you have to definitely balance
of just dealing with life issues overall. So thank you for tuning in, y'all.
Thank you guys so much.
Finish this conversation because honestly, life issues that we deal with never ends.
Nope.
Never ends. Regardless of COVID, life issues is going to be there.
Yep, life issues going to be there, and we're going to be right here. So make sure if you have a topic that you want to talk about or you want to continue a conversation, make sure you email us at tl2@jazzandt.com. You can hit us on our social media, Jetsonz Radio DC.
Yes.
JTLadies Lounge, that's Facebook. Insta, JT_Ladies Lounge. That's available. So listen, you have all kinds of ways to get in contact with us. If you have any topics or anything you want to elaborate on, or if you even just have some feedback for us on how we can be more extraordinary than we already are. So again, thank you all for joining us. We love you. And we will see you Wednesday. Put your mask on. Now, we don't want to hear nothing. Just put it on. All right?
Well, listen. We don't got our mask on, so but
it's two of us. It's two of us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna sit here and do no showing of mask.
But be safe, honestly.
Be safe. And we love you all.
Stay blessed.
Yep. All right, guys.